We're beginning the 8th week on this beautiful Friday. Water temperature. The winter is not fully gone yet. The next week, we should have some colder nights and colder mornings. It's a beautiful Friday. Let's go. The weather is 53, but it feels like 49. I will never get used to that entrance. Like going through a portal. It's gonna be a rough 5 minutes. I can already see. Those warm days had me spoiled. Five minutes. When you hear the lawnmowers, you know it's springtime, basically. All right, till tomorrow. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I think this week I want to research more into the chemical that we release called dopamine. No, it's not my brother. No relation. But it's a natural chemical our body releases. A chemical that we seek on a daily basis through activities, recreational drugs, content, anything you can name, food. Cold plunge is one of the best ways to receive natural dopamine release. The dopamine you receive from cold plunge, it is immediate, but it's also a release that happens throughout the day. Chemical release. Oh, so fun. tomorrow. The temperature is 60 and it feels like 59. The dopamine is a natural chemical produced in specific areas of the brain. This chemical travels along pathways that influence our attention, movement, motivation, and reward. That's why it's called the feel-good chemical. Unlike the quick hit stimulants like caffeine and drugs that can spike and crash your dopamine, cold exposure can sustain it and elevate it for up to 2 to 5 hours or even more. It's documented that cold exposure can spike your dopamine to 250% or more, depending on the duration, temperature, probably depending on the person as well. Running is a good way to activate dopamine, especially early in the morning. But still, cold plunge produces the best surge. All right, till tomorrow. The weather's 58, but it feels like 55. Doing about 7 minutes. Dopamine is a chemical messenger, and it communicates between neurons to help with learning and motor function, memory, and short-term memory. It prepares our brain for enhanced quality scanning, what I like to call mapping readiness, directing our attention to opportunities and even potential threats. And dopamine reinforces our behaviors, like what we eat, our social life, our goals, and even our habits, regardless if they're productive or not. The research can vary between people based on our physical condition. All right, till tomorrow. The temperature is 39, but it feels like 33. It's it, 3. Let's go. I knew the cold weather wasn't going. Now we got the pollen, but the rain we've been getting the last few days has been washing the pollen out. But dopamine doesn't just create pleasure. It signals to us what's important and how to approach that reward or goal, and that we should approach that goal or reward, or to avoid those threats, or how to deal with those threats. Dopamine is a chemical that powers not just our lives, but our wants. And there's emerging science that suggests that deals with action prediction. When we have a balanced and well-tuned dopamine levels, it primes our mind and body for action. All right, till tomorrow. The temperature is 50, but it feels like 48. It's one of the coldest the water's been in a while. It's the calm before the storm, 'cause I ain't ready. As you can tell, I filled it up with clean water yesterday. I recently learned that there are 4 feel-good chemicals: endorphins, serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine. I've known of the other chemicals, but I didn't know they were considered the 4 of the feel-good chemicals. They're distinct in their function, but dopamine is the reward chemical. Dopamine oversees our mood, helps us deal with our stress, how we respond to situations, and helping us regulate our emotions. It's even involved in our immune functions. Tomorrow is the last day of our 8th week. Later. Deliberate whole exposure immersion ignites a significant release of dopamine. Like I stated the other day, 250% above baseline levels. The surge we get from cold plunge is a more sustained and elevated boost of dopamine, lasting for hours, more than any dopamine boosting activities, and without the crash we receive from stimulants. Because of our body's adaptive response to the cold shock, for me personally, cold plunge is the best, most natural way to elevate dopamine. It all starts in the mind. Dopamine. All right, later.